to that 80s show. Before we started the show, Dori said to me, I'm so full of beans. And you are double beans now. Double beaned Dori.
Yeah, that song also puts me in a very good mood, I have to say.
My word, I'm so... But, I always feel for the people who... Listen, I love our podcast listeners. I mean, you keep us going. You keep us revitalized. But the people who listen live, Cliff Central, 10 o'clock every Friday, you guys get the little bonus of a song. And this week you got Bananarama, I Heard a Rumour. What was the rumour? What was it, Dori? We'll never know. Because all the Bananaramas are dead and they can never tell us.
No, they're not. Jeez. Stop killing people.
I just assume, oh boy, Dori, what a good week for that 80s show. Oh my word. Fantastic week. We have been getting so many hits on our website.
Why, Paulo? Do tell us why.
Because this week, Netflix, right, released that 90s show. So naturally people go, that 70s show, was there ever a that 80s show? Boom. Guess who's there? Wow.
I mean,
they really called it in.
As we have discovered, there was a That 80s show that one can find on YouTube. And I admit I haven't finished watching it because it really didn't turn out to be good. I was very excited when I found it, but boy, was it bad.
I mean, has it often been said that you go two things together? You go That 80s show, TV show, and a podcast / pseudo internet radio show, and you go, you know what? We are the better That 80s show. We're certainly the longer lasting That 80s show. They got 5 episodes.
That's for sure. That is for sure.
The longest running That 80s show. Well done to us, Dori. What a week. So keep Googling because people must be going. They must be going. Was there ever a That 80s show? There must be. There must be.
I mean, because why would you leave out the best decade of all?
I know. Oh my God, That 80s show, the TV show, not this show. That 80s show, the TV show sucked. It was so bad.
It had so much potential, and yet they ruined it. They did it terribly.
I know.
Really, I don't know what they were thinking.
It was so full of 80s in jokes and comments that no one got. Anyway, on to the rest of today's show.
Yes. So hang on. Are people like finding us and then going, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and then they go, oh, wow. Oh. This is great. You got it.
Okay, we'll go with that. Okay. Welcome, new listeners.
Welcome.
We love you. Please stay.
Please stay. One thing we can tell you, we'll last longer. That's what we can tell you then, that 80s show, TV show. Dori, sometimes you're at a park.
Yes.
And there is a drunk man badly singing Bon Jovi songs. And sometimes that man isn't even me. So I found this awesome video.
Wow.
I love this. This is such a heartwarming thing. It was heartwarming till my wife ruined it for me. I'm going to play the audio of something, right? This video has been going around.
Okay.
I don't know how new it is, but I've kind of only seen it. I've seen it a couple of times in the past few weeks, but I don't know where it's from. Of this dude sitting he's in New York, right? Sitting at like on a park bench. It's definitely summer. It's warm. And there are just people like all sitting on the grass in front of him. Just like it must be a really hot day and everyone's just chilling at the park, right? Just cool people just chilling at the park. We're going to post this video up on that 80 Show SA Facebook page. I think we'll put it right now. We'll put it in the next couple of minutes, right? And
okay,
the guy starts singing very badly to Bon Jovi. Okay, but you don't even have to be able to see the video to understand what happens. I'm going to play it for you. Take a listen.
It doesn't make a difference if we make it all night.
How heartwarming is that?
That is amazing.
How heartwarming is that?
Two things. Okay, first of all, what are all these people doing in the park in the first place?
That's what you do in countries, some countries, like when it's hot, and you know, like cities where everyone lives in an apartment. When it's hot and on weekends they go out to the parks. That's what, because it just looks like people. It doesn't seem like a concert. It's just like that's everyone just hanging in the park.
And they drink publicly. Is that legal?
Well, day drinking, Dori. It's not much better.
Okay. I know. I'm just saying I didn't know that you were allowed to get so trashed in a park.
I've been, maybe just because I've been to parks like this in London and Ireland. Maybe that, maybe you can't.
Because wasn't that like America?
But do you think people are drunk? Oh, the guy's drinking a beer.
Oh, yeah.
The singer.
Yeah.
Because you know he's drunk.
I mean, I would have sung along. Whether I was drunk or not.
Yeah, you know what? And you know he's drunk because of his opening lyrics. Wait,
are those not the lyrics? What?
Exactly. So I get this video and I go show my wife. I'm like, listen, I'm not like a heartwarming kind of guy. Like, I'm very cynical. So I go to her and I say, oh, you got to look at this. This is such a nice thing. So the guy starts singing. And my wife goes, oh, don't tell me Bon Jovi comes and sits next to him. I'm like, oh, fuck, no, he doesn't. Now the video's worse. Like, no, that's not what happens.
I mean,
but that
would have been ridiculous.
Even better.
Ridiculous. Even
better. And it reminded me of when we go back a couple of months and we played the video. Yeah. We'll put this one up as well. When Bon Jovi is at somebody's wedding and the wedding singer, was she also singing Living on a Prayer? She was.
I think so, yes. And she was like, she kept like eyeing him to go, come on.
She's like, oh, come on. But butchering Living on a Prayer. And he must be like, no, I don't want to.
No, terrible.
And then he's like, fuck this shit. I can't. This woman's destroying my legacy.
You're messing up my song.
So he did that. And so next time you see a drunk guy singing on a park bench Bon Jovi songs, come say hi. Come say hi to me. Which leads us beautifully into Kylie Minogue, the liquor baroness story.
Yes, indeed.
Barrett, the celeb savant, getting very excited about this because, like, any news that is above Kylie Minogue blows her nose. Like, he's like, this is the best story ever. It's like, oh, Kylie Minogue, she blew her nose. You got to talk about it on the show. It's like, okay, I blow my nose. But anyway, loves Kylie. Kylie Minogue, she has a branded Prosecco, which is called Kylie. Do you like Prosecco? It's a bit sweet. I don't know what it is.
No.
It's champagne
wine.
It's
not my thing.
What is it? Anyway, it's topped the charts and is a favorite among Brits. Listen to this, right? According to sales data, every 1.5 seconds, someone drinks one of her wines. What? They're all in that park.
I mean, exactly. But
over what time period?
Is it not? No, but is it not that people are buying it for the novelty? Like fans are buying it.
Sure.
And that doesn't necessarily mean it's good.
No, not at all.
It's just a novelty.
But drinking one.
I'm sorry, Barrett.
No.
I'm sorry, Barrett. I'm not implying that something that Kylie has done is not perfection. But
no.
It's not necessarily trying to say, oh, this is the best drink ever made. It's not saying that.
So she has sold 7 million bottles around the world since it's released. This Prosecco alone has accounted for 7.7 million pounds in sales. Right? So on her kind of a roster, it's not just the Prosecco. There is a whole bunch of wines, Chardonnays, etc. Do you want to hear a review of it, Dori? A review?
Yes, do share.
I just can't get this Prosecco out of my head. It spins me right round.
Did Barrett write that?
There's not that.
No, just be honest, Barrett wrote that, right?
It's a balanced, vibrant glass of pink-hued paradise that tickles your taste buds. A fresh floral nose tantalizes the senses, and flavors of strawberry, raspberries, and a hint of blossom ignites the palate. Hey. And then.
So here's my question before you carry on. Is she really into this type of alcohol, or is it just a pure branding thing where these people maybe approached her and went, "Hey, we like you. Will you help us sell our stuff?"
Well,
or do you think she's really into it?
Because how many celebs have like tequila brands was the big thing. Everyone had tequila brands, right? In South Africa, it's gin. Like every D-lister has a gin. Which brings me, Dori, to Paulo's gin, which you may want. Anyway, no, every D-lister has a gin, right?
Because Ryan Reynolds has something. I can't remember what it is. But he seems to really be into it, is what I'm saying. Like, he's interested in the process and the quality and all the things that make it what it is. You know, I'm just wondering if it's like that. That's all.
Who's to say? I mean, so with the wine, the whole range, there's a Prosecco, there's a Rosé, there's a Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc, Merlot, right? This now contradicts, because this one says those cumulatively have sold 7 million bottles, where the other article said the Prosecco alone sold 7 million. So I call shenanigans, right? But the most popular one is an alcohol-free sparkling rosé, right? Which they're selling now a bottle every 10 seconds over the Christmas period. Who fucking makes up these numbers? Okay. But when we're talking about this, we're saying, no, there's no such thing as an alcohol-free wine. It's called grape juice. It's called, right? That's what it's called. Kylie Minogue's grape juice. Ooh, but the review on this story, European grapes with green tea from the Liuodao Mountains of Yunnan province in China, with one bud and 2 leaves individually hand-plucked at a time for maximum extraction.
What? Who wrote that?
Great band names, Maximum Extraction. I can see the album cover now.
I'm going to use that, actually, yes. Okay.
See the album cover now. So listen, that's Kylie Minogue. She's a liquor baroness. And well done to her for that. And listen, I mean, she's probably having the last laugh because it's dry January. She's got a grape juice out there. It says Kylie. And when you're at the shelf, you're going, well, what am I going to buy? Am I going to buy Kylie, or am I going to buy like this one that's like 4 cousins? Like, what am I going to, what's sexier?
I have to say, if I had the opportunity, I'd probably try them out of curiosity.
Yeah.
I have tasted non-alcoholic wine, aka grape juice, but actually it was disgusting. It was during our lockdown where we were not allowed alcohol.
Oh boy.
And somebody had some and they were like, try this, it's not bad. And it was very bad. It was horrendous. I'd rather be drinking grape juice.
Exactly.
I don't get it.
Well,
I don't get the point of it. But
I'm gonna try find a bottle only for you, Dori. Mm-hmm. Does that work?
Oh, I should be so lucky.
Yes. What? Oh, where did we come from? You know what? At least we have fun. We make each other laugh.
Each other and our one listener.
Hi,
Louis.
So, did you get to watch a movie this week? We love movie recommendations.
I didn't.
Oh, boy.
I didn't. Boy, have I had a busy week. I did not. I have a movie I want to watch. It is in the pipeline. I will watch it soon, and then I will review it. But in the meantime, I went looking because I was like, okay, there's definitely stuff that I haven't spoken about. And when I look at the movies, it's like, done that. So I thought, okay, let me look at TV shows. And I found, one of those YouTube videos, 10 of the most iconic 80s TV shows. And I was like, all right, let me skim through this and see if I can find something. And something piqued my interest in terms of, well, we've definitely spoken about it. People definitely know about it. But if you talk about it now and say good things about it, you could get cancelled.
Your note here in the running order says,
yes.
This week I'm talking about a TV series that could get us cancelled.
I mean, it won't. It won't get us cancelled because we did not do anything to be cancelled. But the thing is,
because Dori,
it's very not PC to say positive things about the show I'm going to talk about.
Really?
For a very obvious reason, which will become apparent as soon as I tell you what it is.
Can I ask some questions? Is it because of the, like, yes and no, right? Is it because of the subject matter?
No.
Is it because of an actor?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay. All right. I'm intrigued. I'm suitably intrigued.
Imagine like a show that was so popular in the 80s. It was groundbreaking. It literally broke barriers and was completely different to anything that had come before. Everybody loved it. I loved it. I used to look forward to watching it every week. And now it's ruined. It's ruined because of what the main actor did. Paulo, I am talking about The Cosby Show.
Oh, God damn it.
Yes.
Damn it, Dori.
I decided to do some reading.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, did you watch The Cosby Show growing up?
Loved The Cosby Show. Who didn't love The Cosby Show? Who didn't? So for me, I loved everyone, but I specifically loved Denise because she wore the coolest 80s clothes. Yes.
She always had cool hats and like cool jackets with shoulder pads that only had 3/4 sleeves, and she was the most stylish and my favorite. And she was also, in terms of personality, my favorite. And I was only a little bit younger than her when we got the show here. So It was like kind of relatable, you know. Do you know that there was the older sister who you didn't see very often on the show, Sandra. I don't know if you remember Sandra, who was like away at college. So you didn't see her most of the time. Yes. And then eventually, a few episodes in, you meet Sandra and it's like, oh my God, she's real. Do you know who was originally cast to play Sandra on The Cosby Show before the actress who eventually played her?
So let me just go back, right? So who let me see if I remember now. I know Janet Jackson was somehow attached to the Cosbys. I don't know if she ever ended up in it, or maybe that was supposed to be her. And then
I don't know. No, that wasn't her. No, I don't know about that.
And then
it was because the mom was played by Felicia Rashad.
Yes.
And her sister in real life was Debbie Allen, who was famous from Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And Debbie Allen actually also had an appearance on The Cosby Show. She came in as I think a dance instructor or something at some point. So the famous people popped up here and there. But let me quickly tell you this, because this was the most interesting factoid that I found about the show. The person who was originally cast to play Sandra was Whitney Houston. Wow, she was like really young. She was like 15 years old. They were like, oh, we want to put you in the show. And she was like, I really want to focus on my singing career. So no.
That's interesting stuff.
And I guess she made a good decision because, you know, she achieved. Although maybe if she'd just been in The Cosby Show, she'd still be here. I don't know. Maybe it was the wrong decision. Anyway, let's deal with the elephant in the room.
I haven't watched it yet, but people who tell me about the Whitney Houston biography.
Yeah.
Oh, I teased someone.
I also haven't watched it.
I had a laugh. I had a terrible tease. So somebody said, "Oh no, they went to go watch the Whitney Houston movie. I was called Whitney, right?
Yeah.
I went to go watch it.
Okay.
I said, and they said, oh, it's so terrible that she did that to herself and died in there. I was like, oh, you ruined it. Why would you ruin it for me? And they go, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What you? Next, you're going to tell me she married Bobby Brown?
Speaking of Whitney Houston movies, I'm proud to say I have still to this day not watched The Bodyguard. Just going to put that out there. Still haven't watched it. Okay. Did you have a favorite? Like, did you relate to Theo, the brother?
I did, yeah. Exactly. So you do relate to him because he was a scamp and he wore cool 80s clothes. Like, he wasn't that cool. He wasn't, because he was like a little bit of a borderline. He wasn't really cool. He wasn't, but he always had nice sneakers. I remember that. He had always had
He
basketball
wasn't
sneakers.
cool like Denise was cool. Denise was cool.
What, Denise is friggin' Lisa Bonet. I mean, she's
I know.
like just,
Yes.
I mean, just one of the coolest people in the world. She married both Lenny Kravitz and Jason Momoa. Like, what the fuck human being are you?
Oh, so yes. So in this rabbit hole that I went down, Jason Momoa used to watch The Cosby Show as a kid and had a huge crush on her.
Oh, who didn't?
Huge.
Who didn't?
So when he met her, he was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So can you imagine?
Really? I mean, who didn't have a crush on Lisa Bonet? I mean, she was just like cool. And like I say, I mean, just like anybody in Lenny Kravitz's sphere instantly. But I think she could even have made Lenny Kravitz cooler. Like, I think she just added. I mean, she's a muse.
So, I mean, I'm not going to tell you too much about the story of The Cosby Show because you either watched it or you didn't. But I wanted to bring it up because it's like, it really was great. And I mean, I still remember certain scenes so clearly. Like, do you remember the scene when Rudy, the little one, her goldfish died, and they had a funeral for the goldfish around the toilet bowl? Do you remember that? Because I remember it so clearly.
No, I mean,
one of those pivotal things from my childhood. The video is on YouTube. I'll post the link.
You know, and it's such a pity that the whole, and it's not just, I mean, that Bill Cosby has now ruined the legacy for a lot of people, and you forget how crucial the Cosby Show was, because like, you had, I mean, in America, it was groundbreaking enough. Do you know the impact in South Africa of like I mean, like just to give anybody, maybe you don't remember or you weren't old enough, you didn't live in South Africa, right? So during apartheid South Africa, even TV was segregated, right? So you had certain channels, and on certain days was English programming, and then there was Afrikaans programming, and any of the all 9 of the other African languages got shoved into one channel, and you hope for the best, right?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, all the hot shows were on, right? Fuse the Boss, everything, they were all there. Imagine this cultural impact of having like middle class South Africa in apartheid era sitting down prime time watching the Cosby Show, where it's not only just an all black family, it's a successful all black family, right? So it's a doctor.
Yes.
And they're achieving. It's like,
But I mean,
wow.
Exactly. But that was groundbreaking in America as well, because in America, previously, like in TV shows, black people had been portrayed as mostly criminals before that. It was groundbreaking there too. It was just probably a whole different experience for South Africans.
And they were never rich.
Specifically feeling that. I just remember enjoying the show.
Yeah, it was stark. It was like you don't like think about it too much, but you go, that's interesting. Like, and you go back, wow, like that's quite interesting, because everyone then had been like Sanford and Son, so it's kind of like a goofy portrayal, or the Jeffersons, or it was kind of like always framed in a certain way. And now you have, and all the characters were black, and all the characters were successful, and they were all wealthy, and it was so, and it's such a pity, because I just want to go through some of the other cast members or people who had appeared in the Cosby Show. Naomi Campbell, Stevie Wonder, Robin Givens. I saw Adam Sandler was in there, Angela Bassett, Tichina Arnold, Alicia Keys, a young Alicia Keys was in there. I remember that story coming around a little while ago. And then
also Raven, I don't remember her name. Raven
Simone,
she was in it for quite a while as well, and when she was a little kid.
I'm sure Samuel L. Jackson was in it. He had to have been. He's just in everything.
So until the scandal, the Cosby Show was being rerun on American TV nonstop. Since it was on, it has never been off American TV until the scandal hit with Bill Cosby, and then it got taken. Like, they were like, okay, we're done. We're not showing this anymore. And it is such a shame that is where its legacy has ended up. And I just want to point out as well, like, even though it was a comedy, it said, I mean, like, I'm going to read from the Wikipedia page. Despite its comedic tone, the show sometimes involves serious subjects, like Theo's experiences dealing with dyslexia, inspired by Cosby's own dyslexic son, Ennis. The show also dealt with teenage pregnancy when Denise's friend Veronica becomes pregnant. There was always kind of almost a tiny little educational angle to it sometimes as well. You know, it was like, we're going to teach you something, but we're going to make you laugh while we're teaching you something.
Oh, you were definitely a better person afterwards. You definitely were. Now, Dori, can I hit you with...
So I'm like, actually...
This article is going to be served to you. I'm telling you now, if you've been reading The Cosby Show, this article is going to get recommended to you. I saw this last week.
Okay.
Because I'm going to shock you. Okay. Can you believe the audacity of this man? Bill Cosby plans to tour in 2023.
What?
Right. So
I didn't even realize he was out of prison until I started reading.
Yeah.
I thought he was still in prison. Then I'm like, oh my God, he's not even in prison anymore. What the hell?
Yeah, he has. So the thing is, one of his convictions, the one that sent him to prison, got overturned. Like I don't know the background of the case, but anyway, he spent 3 years in prison, released, and he was on a radio show just before New Year's, WGH Talk, and the guy asked him, are you planning on touring again? He said, yes, when all this is over. I said, once all this is over, I'm going to start touring again, and they're planning to tour mid-year. The Bill Cosby, 85 years old. I don't think he's touring, but wow, the balls on the man.
But also, what about the people who are going to go to that show? Of course there will be people going to that show, but I would be so embarrassed. I would never admit that I would do that.
Yeah.
And I don't care how funny he is. I'm just totally disinterested. No. Oh, man.
Right. And to be honest, Bill Cosby was never that funny of a comedian. In terms of the comedians around at that time, and I always go back to the Eddie Murphy, when he talks about Bill Cosby in his skit, about how Bill Cosby phoned him to give him advice and said, don't swear so much, and that. So really funny. But I never found him funny like Bill Cosby, other than Dr. Huxtable. I did watch.
But we were little kids. It was funny.
It was funny
because we were little kids.
King of dad jokes.
I don't think I'd find the Cosby Show funny now.
Did you ever watch Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids?
No, not really.
I loved that show. My God, I loved that show. I loved Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids more than I loved the Cosbys. The Cosby Show. Yeah. Confusing. It was called The Cosby Show, but all the characters were the Huxtables. Now that you think about it.
Yes. I know.
Oh, no.
So, yes, that's just a little trip down uncomfortable memory lane.
It is. It is awkward.
Sorry, not sorry.
Okay, sorry, not sorry. And we got through, we didn't get cancelled because, part of me goes, well, look, if we do get cancelled, for Bill Cosby, we got to resurrect ourselves, because I told you last week the great name I have for our new show, should we ever be cancelled. Should I reveal it? Should I reveal it? Or should we keep it for one day? You never know.
Let's keep it for now.
We'll keep it.
Let's keep it.
It's hilarious. It's better than this. But it's not getting searched this week like That 80 Show. Whatever happened? Was there ever a That 80 Show? So, Dori, I've always got great movies, Dori. Always. Right?
You do, mostly.
Always got great movies. Okay, so my movie is a 1980 movie. It feels very 70s. Came out in 1980, but obviously shot in the 70s. It's very 70 feel, aesthetic, everything to it, right? It stars Kurt Russell, right? 1980 Kurt Russell. And directed by Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale, right? Early roles.
Okay.
Produced by Steven Spielberg. Okay.
Okay.
Listen to those names. Kurt Russell, Robert Zemeckis.
Wow, so I'm thinking I must know what this is. I must, right?
I don't think so. Do you know who Jack Warden is? You do know him. You know these guys. You'll see the photo.
Do I?
You'll know.
Okay.
So Kurt Russell he's quite a sleazy guy, used car salesman. And he's works for a dealership, but his main aim is he wants to get on the Senate. He wants to be a politician, young guy, very ambitious. But he's so the old man who runs the dealership, he says, listen, fund my campaign. I'll sell all these cars for you. And the dealership's a little bit run down, sells crappy cars. Across the road, the old guy's brother has another car dealership, and they're rivals. And he's more successful, got cool cars, and they're twin brothers. Okay. Luke and Roy Fucks. I promise you that's the name.
What? Wait, what?
Luke and Roy Fucks. Those are the two guys. Fuchs. Okay. That's their surname.
Fuchs.
They keep saying fucks in the movie, right? It is fuchs, but they keep saying it's fuck.
Well, I suppose if you're American, that's how you would say it.
Right. So these two brothers. So the more successful brother comes up with a scheme, shenanigans. I'm going to kill off my younger brother, make it look like an accident. I'm going to take his body, claim it as mine, get the life insurance, because I think it's me, because I'm insured for a lot, and then I'm going to like live easy, right? So he does the first part, he kills off his brother, but then the shenanigans ensue of trying to hide the body, right? And now the competitiveness between the two car dealerships. So Kurt Russell goes through all the things. He has, because they're going to strip down prices. So what does he have? He has strippers at the car dealership, right? Do all the 80s things. Then they figure out there's a guy, character in the mechanics. He figured out how to do a pacemaker for $12. So he's placed this place. He's like a tech genius. And they figure out how to hack the broadcast system so that during like important football games, they hijack the system, hijack the signal, and place ads for the dealership, like in like big NFL Monday night games.
Sounds familiar,
right?
It sounds familiar.
And then they do a presidential address. They do the same thing. I'll tell you the name of the movie. It's called Used Cars. That's what it's called.
Wow, doesn't sound familiar at all.
Not at all.
Did you watch this movie in the 80s or did you just recently discover it?
So the poster, I remember the poster, so I must have had it was in my house. It has a lemon on it because that's what you call like a shitty used car, a lemon. Yeah. Right? So it's...
I don't think I've ever seen it.
It had that. Dori, it's just 80 shenanigans, and it starts out Kurt Russell, you hate his character, and then because there's even a worse guy than him, you love his character, and wins out in the end, and everyone's happy, and but every woman you encounter gets her clothes ripped off her at some point for a gag. It is called Used Cars. What a list of names to be associated with it. It was a flop. Absolute flop, because what happened is, so all these people involved, it was their first movie, right? Well, they were very young. You can kind of see them learning it out. But when they watched it tested really well with audiences, and they're like, we got to rush this movie. We got to get it out as soon as possible. So they launched it with no marketing, nothing. It just showed up in cinemas, no ads or anything. So it just bombed out. Like it's just one of those things that's just going to kill you. So it didn't work that way, but and also there's a novelty value that it's Robert Zemeckis because he makes family-friendly movies. And this was his first like rated R. What's rated R? Like 16? No, under 16 type of thing. I think it's like that. So there's a novelty value. Boobs. Or constantly. There's one scene where on live TV, a woman's clothes get ripped off and there's a whole big two stunts because now there's so naked woman on TV and just, it's just, Dori, it was 80s. Cusping. Yeah. So that's the movie. I don't know if you give it a watch. There is an original quality one on YouTube, but you can hire like 4K restored ones. Kurt Russell.
It doesn't sound like it's worth paying to watch.
No. If you can find it. You know what? But despite all that, it is actually quite good. It came out, when it came out in cinemas, it was the same weekend as Airplane. Which just
okay, so it could have been a bigger success, maybe.
But Aeroplane just had so much marketing and also was just so much better. So that's kind of what did for it.
There wasn't if we think of 1980, there wasn't a huge amount going on in terms of there weren't tons of movies coming out every week.
No, not at all.
Right?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Especially like early 1980s. Like I say, everything feels so 70s when you watch it. Everything. The grading, the way it's shot, everything. So that's my movie, Used Cars, and Dori's movie. Now, the problem is, if you're going to Google this movie called Used Cars, just Google Used Cars movies, or else you're just going to get, you're going to get like all bit of eye.
You're going to get
this is what you're going to get. So,
wow.
That's my movie, Used Cars, and then The Cosby Show from Dori. And I think the most positive out of all of that is we got to speak about Lisa Bonet, and hopefully her coolness reflects on both of us. Hey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that's a good idea.
For sure.
Dori, George Michael news.
Yes. I don't like your note on our show notes. I think it's too soon to be making jokes.
I know, but I like jokes.
So
I like jokes.
I love jokes, but I think it's too soon to be joking about George. Sorry.
So I shouldn't have done that one. So what I said there, what Dori's talking about is on our show notes, George Michael news, bad news, he's still dead. But one day that won't be true. Like one day, who knows? Technology is advancing. Chat GPT, bring George Michael back to life. Like, did I tell you I did that? The first thing I got Chat GPT, of course. I said, write me a 200-word essay on George Michael. Of course, that's the first thing I put into it.
And was it a good one?
It gave the basics. Basic synopsis of Wham, George Michael. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It's pretty good. Way better than anything you and I could do. Or at least me. So,
yes,
there is no truth whatsoever in the Daily Mail article about a forthcoming big-budget life story. George Michael's estate has denied any endorsement of a warts-and-all biopic about the late Wham frontman. The Daily Mail reported that White Lotus star Theo James is tipped to portray George Michael. And it was endorsed by this.
I see that actually.
Who's Theo James? Who's this?
So Theo James is, if I'm not mistaken, he's in season 2 of White Lotus. He also played Henry in the series of The Time Traveler's Wife that got cancelled after the first season. I'm still upset about.
You're a good-looking guy.
And I just want to check that I am right.
It is him.
He's a very good-looking guy.
I don't know about The Time Traveler's Wife, but I know the White Lotus guy.
Yes, that it is the guy I'm thinking of. I think he could get away with it. There is a vague resemblance, I think it would work.
Okay, I could be on board with that. Okay, so that's fine. But they're saying, to all George's lovelies, fans and lovers of his music, a story has been published stating that George Michael's family has endorsed a so-called biopic about his life. On behalf of George's family and George Michael Entertainment, we want to make it clear there's no truth whatsoever in the story. We know nothing about this project and will not be endorsing it in any way. Yo, that's quite a no. But
I mean, is it because they're saying it would be like a warts and all type thing where they would like show the not so pretty side of his life, which I mean everyone knows about. Everyone knows. He was open about it.
He made a fucking song about it. Like he made a music video about it. Like what? I mean, are you going to show us inside the bathroom? Like what more?
I mean, even the drug stuff. He spoke about it openly in interviews with Michael Parkinson.
Constantly.
Like he was just so open about all the tragedy in his life, because you know the thing with these biopics, and they keep mentioning Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody, and I don't know if the Whitney Houston one was the same. We spoke about it earlier, but those were endorsed. Like Rocket Man was written by Elton John, so of course it's going to be like, I'll give you enough, but not everything. Likewise, Bohemian Rhapsody was produced by the members of Queen, so it was like a love letter to Freddie Mercury, like just all good stuff. So I can't imagine how you're going to do. We know everything about George Michael. He was, like you say, he was so open about it, did not hide a damn thing. Like, that's why they said they're either not involved because whatever was proposed was salacious and just made up and just gross, or they've got their own biopic in the works that's going to make them more money. Because that's a money, people like making money, Dori. Let's be honest there. I mean, that's possible.
You know what I still haven't watched was the George Michael Freedom Uncut. I still haven't watched that.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Because that's the one he put together. Like he narrated it and he like oversaw a version of it, right? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But it was very good. I watched it twice because I watched it first by myself and then I watched it with Barrett who wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And it's really, really good. Like...
So how are we feeling? How are we feeling? Go like, I don't think we need a George Michael biopic, right? I don't think there's anything we haven't seen. However, I really do want to see Theo James in a Wake Me Up Before You Go outfit. So I don't know what are we doing here?
I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to be so precious about it that it's like, nobody can play George. I mean, somebody has to play George. He's gone, as we have established. Somebody has to do it. And I would rather watch a story, but as long as it's done properly and it's done well and all that stuff. And, I would watch it. I love Theo James. I'll watch it.
Okay. We're going to be watching whatever it comes out. Maybe it's the unsolicited one. It doesn't mean they have to say, just because they're not endorsing it doesn't mean one's not being made. They just don't support it. Right?
Exactly.
So, Dori,
yes.
Sometimes the perfect combination of words appears in that 80 show mailbox with my Google alerts. I've got Google alerts on a whole bunch of stuff. How is this combination? Nike Air, 1980s era, 1980s era Michael Jordan, Ben Affleck, all together in one headline.
No.
Wow.
You've got alerts on all those things.
I've got alerts on all those things.
Why do you have an alert on Ben Affleck?
No, I don't. I'm not saying that. I don't have an alert on any of these things.
Okay. The rest makes perfect sense to me, except for Ben Affleck.
Everything to know about Ben Affleck's Nike movie Air about 1980s era Michael Jordan. What? So they're making this movie, right? And it's like ready to come.
Okay.
Opening April 5th. Okay. And it's about the story of how Full Night of Nike. I've read the book, Shoe Dog, fantastic book about the story of Nike, Full Night, and how he pursued Michael Jordan, who was like going to sign with a rival brand, how he pursued him, how he was the only one prepared to give him a shoe, and then just how, Nike is the house that Michael Jordan built, right? And so this story tracks that. It's basically Shoe Dog. It is Shoe Dog? It's the movie Shoe Dog. I'm sure it's called Shoe Dog. Yes. Shoe Dog, right? It's basically the Shoe Dog, the movie, right? But I want to read you some of the costs. So
you can stop because I'm glancing through the article and I've seen the words that convince me, because I'm thinking, this is so not my type of thing. I'm so not interested. And then I saw Jason Bateman, so I'm interested.
There you go. I knew J-Bay is going to get Dori. Is going to get Dori into the theaters. It's going to get Dori looking for the torrents that J-Bay is going to do. So, yes. Listen, some cool names in there. Chris Tuckers and then Marlon Wayans, Gustav Skarsgård. I don't know which one's Gustav, but he's a Skarsgård. Viola Davis. Okay. And then, of course, Jason Bateman as one of the key characters, J-Bay, Dori. So, good for you.
Yeah.
So, we will both be watching that then.
For different reasons, yes.
Probably for the same reason. I love me a little bit of J-Bay. I love me a little J-Bay. While we're on Nike, right, and sports stuff, so number one fan of the show. Not even a fan. You can't even call someone like a benefactor, a patron, because we're like Renaissance artists, and he's a patron of the show.
Indeed.
Yeah, we some people have the Sistine Chapel. We have this, and he says it's a bit of a douchey thing, but I'm really interested to try paddle. Right, the that new sport that everyone's playing, paddle. I don't know if they're still playing it. It was quite a thing 6 months ago. May have be passe. It's like this combination of tennis, squash, badminton, whatever.
Ping pong.
It's like, I feel it's a sport we don't need. Like, we've got a lot of racket sports, but anyway, go with it. He says, I feel like playing it. I said, I'll play with you on condition you and I both dress like 80s era Andre Agassi.
Hang on, has this happened yet?
Dori, when it happens, there will be photos. You'll be the first to see them.
Just checking.
Don't worry.
Actually, can I be there taking the photos? Because come on,
Dori, you can. I cannot wear. I'm on this like life mission to find a certain pair of Andre Agassi sneakers, his signature range. And I thought I struck gold the other day because I thought it cost 1,399 Rand. I missed a 9. 13,999, 14 grand for these shoes. Like, okay, life mission was not resolved this week.
Okay, well now I know what to get you for your birthday. Sorted.
14,000 Rand, yes, thank you.
I'll crowdfund it. Come on, we can do this.
Oh God, we'll raise 50 cents. Oh, the stupid people who raised the money to buy last Christmas.
Yes.
They can
We should steal that money.
Pay back the money, you bitches. Pay it back.
Yeah.
We will not rest till they pay back the money. Dori, quick game. We're approaching the end of the show. Quick game. Invented this game. I didn't. I stole it from a radio show. It's an old radio staple.
Like the previous game.
Oh, this is old radio. This is one of those things. Who invents radio concepts? Who invented them? No one. They were just always there, right? So you can steal them. 2 truths and a lie, but I do 2 80s truths and a lie, right? And listen, you can hear so much of the shit we spoke about in the show. You go, I cannot believe that about the 80s, right?
Exactly.
So it makes the game very difficult. So I've got 2 truths and a lie. I'm going to give you 3 factoids. You need to decipher which of these is the lie. There's 1 lie, 2 truths. Hence the name.
Okay.
2 truths and a lie. Okay.
Okay, we've got it. You don't have to explain it again. Yes.
Right. John Cusack, an 80s darling. 80s darling, most annoying sister in the world. And I'm sure he's also related to Toni Collette somehow. John Cusack.
You refuse to watch movies with him in it.
Just because his sister would have watched them. And I cannot endorse that. Okay. But anyway, John Cusack in all his 80s movies, Hot Pursuit, Better Off Dead, Say Anything. But besides though, I did watch High Fidelity the other day. So I did take one. Yeah.
Okay.
Good movie. Great movie. 90s. Good.
Yes, very good.
John Cusack, Hot Pursuit, Better Off Dead, Say Anything. Always played the same guy. Little beat upon loser. Has a level 6 black belt in kickboxing. That's number 1. John Cusack, level 6 black belt. I didn't even know you got levels of a black belt. It's like once you get black belt, it's like he's got 6, right? In kickboxing. That's even more than Mr. Miyagi. Okay, he's got karate, but not kickboxing. Okay. Number 1. Number 2, Bill Murray, Sigourney Weaver, and Dan Aykroyd will reunite in London to film the new Ghostbusters movie. Okay. Number 2. Number 3, the house used in Dallas, South Fork, was the scene of a morbid discovery in 1998 when excavation on the site revealed a mass family grave believed to belong to a slave family kept by the original owners in the 1800s. So those are the 3. Ghostbusters cast reuniting.
Wow.
John Cusack is a kickboxer, level 6, and a mass grave of slaves found at South Fork. Which one is the lie?
I mean, they're all completely plausible. So I remember John Cusack did a boxing thing in Say Anything. I can't remember if it was specifically kickboxing or normal boxing, but there was definitely boxing involved.
Okay.
So that feels like a truth to me.
Okay.
Ghostbusters, I mean, they're making so many freaking remakes. Who knows? Could be true. And the South Fork thing, again, could be true. I'm going to have to do a wild guess again. Last time I was successful with my wild guess. I'm going to go with Ghostbusters being the lie.
That the cast of Ghostbusters is reuniting to film new Ghostbusters in London. So Dori's locked in. She knows John Cusack well, saw him do boxing. She figures that one's the truth. She thinks South Fork being a slave owners is the truth. Thinks
plausible, entirely plausible.
Entirely plausible. Ghostbusters is true.
Okay.
So Ghostbusters is true.
So South Fork the lie.
South Fork's the lie. The original cast of Ghostbusters are filming the new Ghostbusters titled Firehouse. If you watched the Ghostbusters Afterlife, you would have seen they hinted that Ernie Hudson's character is putting the Ghostbusters back together. And then now they're going to, they've always been in New York.
I still haven't watched that.
It's pretty,
I haven't watched that. Okay, that's my fault.
It's like Stranger Things. It's basically Stranger Things.
Okay.
So that's true. The John Cusack thing is, and the South Fork thing is an absolute lie. In fact, if you find yourself in Texas, you can go for a tour of the beautiful South Fork Ranch. And they take you around. They say you can see the gun that shot JR. You can see Lucy's wedding dress. You can see the Dallas family tree. And you can see Jock's Lincoln Continental. You can go inside the Ewing mansion, inside and out. Okay? But
I was a Dynasty person, not a Dallas person, so that doesn't really float my boat. I'd rather see Alexis's penthouse. That I would see.
Well, you know what, Dori, let's look for it. Maybe there is. You can go see
Maybe it is.
So
I think it was probably a set.
Exactly. So South Fork, and that's the thing. They shot one house. So the tours, there was one house that was used as the exterior shot, so that big sweeping shot. And then there was another house that they used for the interiors. And the guy who has the interiors, he's also allows you to come for tours in his house. The house, not from the 1800s, from 1939. So that's, and no slaves, no mass burial sites.
Good.
So it's fine.
Cool. Sure.
It's fine. Okay. Yeah, don't worry. But the ghost of J.R. Ewing will be smugly walking around.
Roams the hallways.
Roams the hallways. Oh, that's two 80s truths and a lie. Dori, I'm a good liar, though. I'm a super liar.
You are.
It's good imagination from me. So that has been that 80s show. Everything we spoke about on the show, from the drunk man singing Bon Jovi, everyone joins in with him. We'll also put up the video of John Bon Jovi out singing The Crappy Wedding Singer, Kylie Minogue, The Liquor Baroness, our movies, Bill Cosby, Lisa Bonet pictures, definitely. I'm going to get an AI program to... What do you think about this, Dori? I'm going to get an AI program, one of those that makes images for you, and say...
Yes.
Please get me a picture of... And I'm really padding here because I cannot remember the guy's name.
Which guy? I'll help you. Which guy? Tell me.
Let me try again. Please, AI machine... Can you mock up a picture of Theo James in the Wake Me Up Before You Go outfit? And that'll be going on that 80 Show SA Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah. Good use of AI.
I have not even dipped my toe into any of the AI programs. Not because I'm not interested. I just have very little free time. I want to have less free time. So I have not touched it.
Use them. It saves up your time. Dori, I'm not even here. I'm an AI.
Oh my God, you're an AI.
I'm
hologram.
I'm synthetic, Dori. I'm just saving some. The real Paulo is by the pool.
No. You're pathetic, not synthetic. You're pathetic.
Oh, thanks for joining me, Dori. Goodbye.
Bye.